Davinci Resolve 19.1 is here. And that point one, well, that means new features, so that's great news for us. There are some really awesome features for us to take a look at today. Blackmagic Design has actually listened to a lot of people's feedback and made some user interface changes. Plus, we have some brand new generators and titles and things like that in the edit page. However, before you go getting too excited and downloading Davinci Resolve 19.1, keep in mind that there's some serious system requirements that you really need to know. I'll save that for the end of the video, so stick around and we'll discuss what that is. So let's jump on in there and check out the new features. Alright, so we're going to get started here on the edit page and take a look at some of these awesome new changes we have here. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is our new effects. So let's go up here to the top left, select effects, and we're going to come over here and we can take a look at some of the new stuff. So we have some new titles, as you can see, like here. And we also have some new generators. So let's take a look at the generators first because they are pretty awesome. So let me just go ahead and bring that down so we can see that a little larger. All right, so we can see we now have this new cartoon cloud sky. I'm pretty sure this is brand new for this one. I know we've had this one before. We had the contours, but now we're getting into here where we have this cube array, which is interesting. It's new. I think it's a bit too much for me, but maybe you can make it work. The disc wall, there's this gradient lines. This one's actually pretty cool once you make some edits to it. There's a hexagon glow. This one's really awesome. Honeycomb, noise gradient. We've had this for some time. I'm pretty sure paper's new. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's new. There's radial lines, squares, this new stage curtains. One of my favorites here is the Starfield texture background. That one was there before, and the vintage texture is an old one as well. Just go ahead, grab some of them, throw them on the timeline. All right, so I've got these set up on the timeline. I have drawn them out a little bit longer, so we have some animation to work with. So let's get that going, and I'm going to come up here to my inspector. This way I can see my controls and see how to work with that. And we can see under this generator, we have the light 1, light 2, and light 3, animation speed, and seed rate. There's seed rate, I do believe that means some fast noise, and some speed. As we can see, it's going pretty slow here, so let's see if that's 180. Let's up it to, say, 250. There we go. It's moving around a little bit faster here. Now let's check out the lights. All right, so we have a combination of 3 different lights with different colors, and we can go ahead and mess with the changing. Looks like the top 2 are darker ones. All right, so you can see I threw a purple light here. Let's take a look at this one. Maybe we can throw a different color light and see what looks there. And how about we change this one here? We'll go with a red light. Alright, so you can see we got multiple colors going on there, or if you just want to stick to the same theme, go with the same type of color, use a couple dark and then a brighter one. So let me grab a brighter purple, bring that up and hit there. So yeah, really cool, very simple. And then if you want to make further adjustments, you could just go into the Fusion tab here, or if you want to see how they build it, let's go ahead and stop. Right here, you have the little Fusion tab, click on that. Okay, so now you can see we're in the Fusion tab, and if you want to take a look at stuff, just go ahead and move your nodes over here, double click on that, and it's going to expand it, and then you can see how did they build it. Bring this up so we can see this a little bit better. They used this for the shapes, the hexagons, the extrude to make it 3D. There's the background for colors. Here is camera 3D. There's your merge. So if you want to see what you're doing, go ahead and click the merge, hit 1 on there and open up your double viewers, and you can see how that's done. And there's 3 lights that we were just adjusting. And you know, if you want to add one, you just Command C, go ahead, come over here, press Command V, and go ahead, add one, and then just select that, hit your inspector, go to your transform, and you can then move it one way or another. As you can see, it's moving there, and then the Y is going to move it up and down, you know, the X left and right. Go ahead and move that, and then you got an extra camera in there. All right, so let's go to the next one real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, so let's play. And as you can see, this is just moving really slowly. And we can check our inspector here. We have horizontal, left, thick, vertical, right, thin. Not a whole lot you can do there. You can change the colors and animation speed. This one is quite slow. Let me just change this to, say, 15 and see what happened. All right, it's a little bit better. It's a little fast there. Okay, let's see how else we can adjust this. We'll hit this one real quick in the Fusion page as well. So let's go stop that and hit Fusion. Do the same thing. We're just going to grab this, double click here, and see. They made this one really simple. So this is just some fast noise, a background, and a merge. And then here we have the buttons, which are not attached here, which means that if we try to adjust these here in Fusion, it's not going to work because they were actually built into the macro for the edit page. So don't worry about not being able to adjust there. You just go ahead, select your fast noise. If you want to make any adjustments, we'll do there. In order for you to be able to see any adjustments, go ahead and make this one viewer and bring this down. You're going to have to work with the detail first. See, if you use the detail, it's going to make a change. However, if you do something else, well, you can see it's moving that, not much, but contrast, doing nothing. If you change your seed rate, it's not doing any difference there. However, let's increase that detail by quite a bit. I'm just going to drag it all the way up. Now we can add the contrast. As you can see, huge difference going on there. Let's play it while we make these adjustments. Brightness, you can make some adjustments there that way. Your scale, seed rate. So that's one way to do that. So now that I've made some adjustments, let's hop back onto the edit page and let's play that and see what we get from the different angles now. So that's vertical, left, thick, and thin. As you can see, simple adjustments, you do them real quick, and you just get that through from Fusion. So now we have the Starfield. So let's play through there, and we'll make this one a little bit bigger. Let's close our effects panel. You can see more. And take a look at our generators over here. And as you can see, we have all these different ways of doing the stars. We can do number of stars. So if you want to increase that, or if you just want a random seed, you can just hit reseed. It's going to change the way it looks. And let's hit style. Okay, so as you can see, this one makes it a little bit stronger. And then there's the soft circular, which softens a bit. And then here we have the actual stars. You click that, you see the 5 points, and we got a 5-pointed star. And then here it says sides. If we drag that down, now we've got a 3-sided star, not like a triangle, but it is a little bit like a star. And then we can just increase. I see it goes all the way up to 12 here, but let's go ahead and try to add more. I'm gonna double click that and just add 25. Let's see. So it can add 25 points, but then it becomes more like a circle. So let's go back to 5. All right, now let's look at the other ones. It's more like a soft star. So yeah, you just go ahead and click around there and see which one you like. Starriness. Oh, this is interesting. So let's see. If I click that onto the star, let me grab the starriness and we're gonna drag it down. As you can see, it makes it more circular. And if you drag it up, it's more like the star. So that's what your starriness is. Base color, you can change your star colors. So if you wanted like purple or like a red. Base color, let's go back to white. And then also you have your red variants. So if you want to give it like a red tint, green tint, or blue tint, you have them. Blue, there we go. Animation, you can change the depth. So if you want to move the back pretty far away, or if you want to bring it up, change the depth. Speed, so if you want to go through space a little faster, and you can make a bunch of different adjustments there. Your background, if you want to change your background, keep in mind you're probably going to want to use darker backgrounds. So let's see, I'm going to do a red. So yeah, so you see with the bright, a little difficult to see it so well, but let's darken it up here, say here and there. As you get darker and darker, it's going to come out better and better. Let's try a nice blue, give it a nice dark blue. Well, let's try it with this blue, and then we'll try it with a little darker. So as you can see, the darker stuff works pretty good there. Now this one I haven't even worked with at all, so I have no idea what's going on here. I just think it's pretty cool, so let's take a look at it. So as you can see, it's going slow. Let's see what separation does. Ah, well, this is interesting. You can probably control your separation. So if you come to the beginning, you can keyframe it, and you move to a certain point and you want to reveal something, go ahead, just add a bunch of separation. So now let's go ahead and play that again. Yeah, so you could easily go make some adjustments there. You can do vertical. You can change the number of clouds, random seed, horizontal position, vertical position, hue. Oh, interesting. So you can change the hue. That's cool. And the speed of the animation. Let's go ahead and hit our effects one more time. We're going to take a real fast look at our titles, as we got some new titles. You can see we got like circus, comic title. I'm pretty sure they're new. This one's definitely new. I haven't seen this one before. So just going to go ahead and drag and drop that there. So now let's take a look at this. Going to play it. As you can see, it has those 3 spheres that go around it. So let's go ahead and just change the text. We're going to just put, say, subscribe. So as you can see, the sphere actually cuts into there, so we're gonna have to make adjustment on that. So let's go sphere size. There we go, we got that. Let's see, we have a top shape, rotate, mid shape. Okay, so let's back this up a couple frames. See what we got going on here. All right, so now you can see we have these three, and we saw what that animation looked like. So let's make some adjustment to where these spheres are. So top shape, all right, that one goes that way, and let's see where the mid shape. All right, so let's put these in like 3 spots. We'll put this one here, and we'll put the top shape. Let's go a little like this. There we go. Let's see how that looks. So I'm gonna let the render cache, and then we'll check it out. All right, let's check it out and see how it looks now. So that's cool. You can change the directions of that. That's really awesome. Let's go ahead and stop and see what else we have here. We have glass, glossy blue, gradient background, neon flicker. I'm not sure, was neon flicker, was this an old one, a new one? All right, we'll use this background. Pretty sure this is new, or at least I don't really work with them too often. As you can see, that kind of popped on pretty quick and flickered fast. So let's see what we can do with that. Color controls. All right, so if you want to change your color here, your flicker delay. All right, let's change that flicker delay to like something else. See how that goes. That's nice. It pops on a little bit slower. Texture size. Okay, that's within the texture. Your glow. You know, your normal controls there. And yeah, and your colors here. So if you want to change the color, that's pretty cool. Zoom fly through. That's pretty cool. All right, so as you can see, there's definitely a bunch of different titles. I don't typically use the ones that are built in. Usually create my own, but they're there. If you like them, check them out. So the next one that's really awesome, and this is going to change a lot of workflows. Let's go over here to media pool. So as you can see, like, you know, when you're bringing stuff in under your master, you get all kinds of, everything goes a little chaotic. But when you go and select everything, put them into bins, it makes everything a lot easier, more organized, and this is typically how I do it. So as you can see here, this one's video footage. What I did to make that was I start with an external SSD, and I take my footage that I have from these things. So as you can see here, I have this video footage, and all I did was grab this, dragged it and dropped it in the master, and it automatically created these bins for me. Now let's go ahead and create a whole new folder. So I'm just going to right click in here. I'm going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this tutorial folder. All right, so now I have a tutorial folder, and there's nothing in it. So let's go ahead and create another folder and call this one folder 1. I'm going to create a second one, call that folder 2. Now we have 2 folders, and they are empty. But let's put some media in there and see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do here is under folder 1, I'm just going to grab, say, 2 videos. I'm going to grab them, just drag and drop them into folder 1. Then I'm going to come to folder 2. I'm going to find 2 more. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab 2 more videos and drop them here under folder 2. Okay, so now as you can see, under folder 1 and folder 2, we have 2 different videos. We have these 2 under folder 1. We have these 2 videos here in folder 2. And we've named this one tutorial folder. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to drag it right over here to master, and I'm going to drop it there. So now as you can see, under the master, we have these 2 folders. If I select folder 1, you'll see those 2 videos, and folder 2. Everything's nice and neatly organized in there. And now what we can do is we can right click here. We can come down here, and you see this resync media files and automatically resync media files. This is 2 new things that we never had before. And what that means is that we can now add media into the original folder, and it will automatically update in Davinci Resolve. So as you can see here, we're going to do folder 1. All right, so I'm just going to grab this video and drop that under the folder 1, and then folder 2 here, I'm just going to go ahead and find another. Okay, this one's small, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop that into folder 2. Okay, so now you can see they have been added into the original folder. Now let's go ahead back to Davinci Resolve and check this. And as you can see, there's nothing there. However, if I go and right click this and I come down and hit resync media files, so now it's going to go ahead and check that. And as you can see, we now have the new ones in there. But that was still kind of doing a manual thing. But let's hit the automatically resync and see how that works. So let's go ahead and add another video into the folder. All right, so I'm just going to grab this one and drag it in there. Okay, so now you can see I added a video to folder 2, and let's just go over here, click folder 2, and you can see now it has the 4th video in there. So the 3 videos are there, and this one now has the 4 videos that were meant to be into this one with the automatic resync. Now on top of this, we also have our power bins. So let's go ahead and check our power bins and see if we can do the same thing there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead, grab that tutorial folder, drag that under the master. So now you can see I have tutorial folder here in the power bins, and we can do the same exact thing. Right click, we can resync media files and automatically resync media files. It'll work exactly the same way, so you can do so much stuff. Where this is really powerful is like your sound effects things. So if you're updating your sound effects folders, you'll be able to just go ahead, add new sound effects. Maybe you want to add new B-roll or something like that you're keeping into your power bins, and it'll automatically update for every project within that project library with the new sync folders. And that's just so amazing. Thank you, Blackmagic Design. You're the best. So I'm going to do some more videos about the backgrounds and probably some more about the new updates that we've had. So be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on that content. So as I promised, if you stuck around to the end of the video, we'll discuss about the system requirement. And as all the hardware in these machines are constantly improving and Davinci Resolve is bringing in things like AI and whatnot, well, things are becoming more and more demanding. And people, well, you're using Fusion stuff more and more, which really is taxing on a computer. So the new requirements are becoming more demanding. Your machine should be at least 2017 or newer. So that also means that if you're going to upgrade something, you're going to want to upgrade and future-proof, because these things are going to drop off over these next several months or even in the next year. So if you have an Apple system, your minimum requirements to use it are going to be at least 8 gigabytes of RAM or 16 gigabytes of RAM to use Fusion. However, the recommended would be at least 32 gigabytes of RAM, because this is really intensive on your computer and you need some really good graphics. So the best thing for you to use is Apple Silicon. If you're using Windows, you're going to want at minimum 16 gigabytes of RAM. So if you're using a Windows system, you're going to want at least 16 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of RAM if you're going to be using Fusion. So you're going to want to go up even higher than that if possible. So be sure that your machine is going to be capable of using Davinci Resolve 19. Otherwise, you should stick to one of the older versions and not try to install it and then find out later on that it just won't work, and then your projects are just having so many issues and you're going to have to revert back, which is going to cause more issues. All right, so that's it for now. And if you've enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe. And if you'd like to learn more, go ahead and check out one of these videos here, and I'll see you in the next one.